So this message from the Divine Director is the divine archetype for children and youth of the New Age. And last night I received little glyphs that the Divine Director would like to share. To access this divine archetype, we are encouraged to develop and balance our being, body, mind, and spirit. The education of the body and spirit, as well as the mind, is important. Exercising the mind and spirit as well as the body is crucial. And the cultivation of the body and the mind, as well as the spirit, is also necessary. Education, exercise, and the cultivation of all three aspects of our being in a balanced approach will be the standard for all life and within all systems in the age of Aquarius. So education, exercise, and the cultivation of all three aspects of our being in a balanced approach will be the standard for all life and for all systems in the age of Aquarius. The Divine Director encourages us to study the lives of great mystics, avatars, messengers, who already in their youth knew who they were or experienced God in a profound way during their youth, including Krishna, Jesus, Yogananda, Saint Bernadette, the children at Fatima, Joan of Arc, Padre Pio, Saint Francis and Clare, and other saints and mystics, heroes and heroines, who somehow God called at a very young age to serve humanity through their sacred surrender and their generous givingness. Remember, we have in the Heart Center the ritual of sacred surrender. We call it sacred because we're not surrendering to something less than what we deserve in a godlike way. It's a sacred surrender. It's a letting go of all aspects of our lesser nature and an embracing of our divine selfhood. And so really it's not a sacrifice so much as just the mastery of who we are by accepting our real self, fully accepting our real nature. The Divine Director asks us to consider modeling these virtues: love, freedom, reverence for life, creativity, joy, and humility. There's 7 of these. Again, love, freedom, reverence for life, creativity, joy, and humility. Is that 7? I count 6. Maybe there's another. Love, freedom, reverence for life, creativity, joy, and humility. Okay, he's going to add a 7th, and that's compassion, which is similar to love, yet it's a little different. So I'll repeat them one more time. Love, freedom, reverence for life, creativity, joy, humility, and compassion. He encourages us to be service-oriented and community-oriented. Service-oriented and community-oriented. While doing this, we have a respect for all cultures, all spiritual paths, all viewpoints, because each one of these is a part of the whole of humanity and of all souls evolving upon earth. When we are service-oriented, obviously we can't be in judgment of another because we have to extend our hearts and be, in a sense, lower than someone to serve them. In other words, we're following Jesus' statement that the greatest among you will be the servant of all. So it's enlightened self-interest to be a servant, because then you become great in the eyes of God and great in the light that you wield and carry in your being. When we are community-oriented, we see beyond our limited human self to partake of higher initiations that come when we reach out and our aura expands to encompass more than just our individual world or life. When we are invested in helping many others and being a leader or a servant leader or a good shepherd, and we serve in a community of like-minded hearts and minds, then it engenders something great within us and within everyone, because we are one. Community means coming into unity. That's what community means, coming into unity. So we have to be focused on the one, God, to establish a true community, which is coming into unity with what? With God, with the divine. He says, holding a high ideal for personal and planetary enlightenment, brotherhood, and peace is essential. Now, we've heard of this high ideal through the teachings of the Master Omraam Mikhail Ivanhoff. And there may be many high ideals that we espouse to and determine to focus upon and to strive toward. These are the ones the Divine Director encourages us to. Personal and planetary enlightenment, brotherhood, or we could say brother-sisterhood, but I think brotherhood's okay, and peace. He says that we can cherish our elders for their wisdom, cherish our parents for their example, and cherish the young for their spontaneity and creativity. When we cherish the elders for their wisdom, we can receive that wisdom. It's embedded within us. We cherish our parents for their example. We can do likewise, so long as their example is a good one, right? And we can cherish the young for the spontaneity and creativity that they have in self-discovering who they are and in mastering their lives. And when we cherish, and cherish these groupings of individuals in the right way, we foster a great cooperation intergenerationally. And that's important because there's a breakdown of the family now. Many older people are in nursing homes, away from their families. They're not able to share their wisdom, or maybe their minds are such, their bodies are such that it's more difficult for them. Yet our society has not cherished them as it should and figured out ways to have them still be with their families even while they're going through the last phase of their life. So we've shut them out and we're not getting their wisdom. And the young are suffering as a result of it. Older youth must model service, altruism, compassion, and excellence to younger youth. So if you're in your later teens or early 20s, even into the early 30s, you can model for younger people what is beneficial for their soul development and their mastery. Through service, altruism, compassion, and excellence. All of these are essential for the divine archetype of children and youth to be exalted and to be the standard. He says that especially now, fear must be transmuted, even as divine love is exalted. Why? Because of COVID, the media is promulgating fear after fear after fear. It's the last-ditch perverted Piscean energy that's being mass-produced through the media and through the medical establishment. And it is time that we finally conquer this once and for all. And we have to be fearless to conquer fear. Fearless in speaking the truth. Fearless in sharing what is real. I'm going to pause here because yesterday I heard on the radio as I was driving an amazing interview between the person who was taking Sean Hannity's place and Robert Kennedy Jr. It was one of the most revolutionary and expository sessions I've ever heard on the radio, exposing people at the very top who have orchestrated this entire scam that's going on the planet right now. And I'll just mention the initials, AF, I think you all know who that is, and WG or BG, and another individual in Britain who's like the WG of another corporation over there. He has done so much research and codified what actually has occurred since the year 2000 when AF and WG met and planned this entire deal. So I had never heard a lot of this before. It was phenomenal, and I encourage everyone to seek out this information so you're armed with the truth. So back now to the Divine Director. He says, being truthful is normal, being mindful is hip, and being compassionate is easy and fun in the Aquarian age. Being truthful is normal, being mindful is hip, or cool if you want to call it that, and being compassionate is easy and fun. So why should it be otherwise? I mean, we're supposed to have fun and be happy as God-created beings. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a life of suffering and striving just to make a living and to, have what we require. He says a return to respect, integrity, constancy, and patience is essential. Honor principles and values by attempting to live them daily. Honor exalted missions, visions, goals, and initiatives through concerted striving, giving, and serving. This is what even children and youth in the new age will do because they are taught from infancy and in utero these truths. You can inculcate within them even while they're in the womb much truth, and as they grow, they will outpicture what you embed within their consciousness by speaking lovingly to them as they're growing inside of the mother, and as you pray, as you meditate. Meditation is one of the most amazing alchemical opportunities to extend to unborn children the high ideals and all of these standards of the Golden Crystal Age. And so women being taught a la the Montessori method and a la what both Peter Dunov and the Master Omram and Elizabeth Clare-Prophet and others have shared about how important it is to prepare for their coming. This will be the standard, teaching how important it is to teach our children even while they're in the womb. Share beautiful music, share beautiful images with them. Even though you may think they don't see, their higher vision sees. So watch beautiful movies and watch beautiful things rather than decadent things. What you take in through your consciousness impacts your unborn child. All must invest in the seventh ray of freedom. So every Aquarian youth must invest in the seventh ray of freedom, the violet light of forgiveness, mercy, freedom, justice, alchemy, and joy, through their own creative efforts. This is the final concluding statement of this heart stream. All these archetypal children of the new age must invest in the seventh ray of freedom, and we can teach them how to do that using the violet light of forgiveness, mercy, freedom, justice, alchemy, and joy in prayers, meditations, songs, dance, through our cultural exchanges, through drama, and through whatever creative effort they are called upon to engage in, that their own higher self inspires upon them. So everyone must be invested in the seventh ray of freedom for the golden age of Aquarius to exist, right? How could it be otherwise? We have to be invested in it if we're co-creating it together as initiates, as families, as some of us may re-embody. I mean, we're all expecting to ascend, but if the master asks you to re-embody for a purpose, I mean, what are you going to ignore him? None of us maybe would like to have to come back if we've qualified for the ascension. I, for one, am asking that I'd like to ascend and then get a dispensation like Saint Germain where I can come back, but then I'm assured that I'm not going to lose my way again, right? That's my caveat. If I've qualified for the ascension, even though I'm a bodhisattva, I'd like to, be assured that I'm not going to get lost again through some crazy situation. And I think that they will do everything they can to assure that for all of us. So the Divine Director is a very masterful being. He's the guru of El Morya, of Saint Germain, of Jesus, and other masters. He is phenomenal. He has such a vision, such an intense love of God and of the universe and of the blue ray as well as the violet ray, that he's just everywhere in the consciousness of God and beyond that. And I thank him today, and we all thank him for these messages.